Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, come in, you're very welcome. Well, I trusted you enjoyed my last video on a Scottish band, Big Country, and through their iconic sound that they've got, we talked about that very fact. Wilderness experiences, how we get out into the real wide world and feel just so alive because of that. So trust you found that one encouraging. Well, we're going on to a 1970s phenomenon today. The story started with German record producer Frank Farian in 1976, and he decided to get a bunch of guys together. We had Liz Mitchell and Mariah Barrett from Jamaica, Maisie Williams from Montserrat, which is also around the Caribbean, and Bobby Farrell from Aruba, which is just off the coast of Europe, in fact the northern coast of Europe. So very much a multicultural and diverse group, this one, Caribbean and Europe, and of course him based in Europe as well. And of course Boney M was formed. Now we're talking 1970s phenomenon, classic glitz, glamour, and the whole excitement of doing music and performing live on stage. This is where we're going today. Between 1976 and 1985, there are 8 studio albums, many compilation albums. So we'll get on to why in a minute with that. Around 50 singles. And one of the interesting things about Boney M is the number of, because these guys have had success in the 1980s, 1990s and 2000s, so they've been around for a while, what they do is they reproduce and up their sound. And so therefore these guys have remained pretty popular during all that time. Obviously as a record producer, you have a song, you think, yeah, that one worked really, really well. But as we move on, and as you know, we get new ideas and new thoughts about how a song can sound, you know, we do remixes, and these guys, Boney M, is so popular for that reason. As I said, culturally diverse, you know, what can we say, Europe, Caribbean. And the thing about Boney M is very much that Caribbean, Jamaican feel to the music, bit of reggae, all the rest of it. And now it's estimated these guys have sold about 80 million albums. So that's pretty significant in the scheme of things. So when we get onto the songs for Boney M, these guys had a string of hits in the 1970s. And so I thought what I'd do is I'll talk about one song in particular that was pretty well one of their most well-known songs. This was the song Rasputin. Came off the album Night Flight to Venus. Love that. Love the name of that album. Reminds me of the Final Countdown, where one of the lyrics in that is, "We're heading to Venus." What is it about Venus? 1978, so a couple of years after these guys started. Now, one of the things, and the song's really about a bit of a Casanova kind of character, but the thing I want to bring about Boney M in general today pretty much is not only the glitz and glamour of these guys look really, really good on stage, and they weren't scared to put on the really elaborate and sparkly costumes to bring the whole thing alive, really saying, hey, look at us, we are here. But it was Bobby and his dancing. Now, if you think about Rasputin, and the clip is below, he just doesn't care. He's dancing, he's a good dancer, pretty good looking bloke as well. He's not scared to show off a little bit here. But you know, he very much gets into the character of Rasputin really, really well. And he really brings the song alive with his dancing. And one of the things that got me thinking today, because there's this bit of a quote that says, "Dance as if nobody is watching." Well, I remember when I was a kid around, you know, a few years ago now, you know, I didn't mind dancing. I'd get on the dance floor, have a bit of a go. I'd dance with utter abandon, you know. I didn't look terribly good, but it didn't matter. I just did it. Then as we get older and older, that inhibition, I suppose, stops. We think, oh, perhaps I won't get up and dance anymore. I'm not really that confident. I'm not that good. I'm just going to jiggle and look totally uncoordinated. And so we don't do it anymore. But I must admit, when I was dancing, and I remember jumping around the lounge room to AC/DC's Thunderstruck, what an incredible song that one is, really, really getting into it. And I think back to those days and think, what happened between then and now? I mean, it's 57 years old, and even on dance floors these days, people just do whatever. But there's still something that rises up with me and it makes me a little bit self-conscious and thinks, oh, perhaps I won't. So I suppose, but then Bobby Farrell comes along, and just the way he is, he just really, really gets carried away by it, and he just dances as if no one's watching. How do we get back to that feeling, I wonder? That feeling of total inhibition, that total feeling of I don't care what the world thinks, I'm just going to do it anyway. I don't know. I suppose for me at the moment, I've had How You Train Your Dragon in image in my head for a while now, and this concept of Hiccup fixing up this dragon's tail and it ended up flying and changing the world. I suppose where I'm heading right now is I'm looking forward to flying a little bit more, and taking the world along with me. Not a look at me kind of thing, but more of a what can I do to bring a positive difference in this world. So emerging space, we'll see what happens with these videos going forward. So I suppose the encouragement for you to do is, if you're a bit of a dancer, you know exactly what it's like when you feel. If you're not, but you used to be, get out on the dance floor again. Perhaps I'm talking to myself here, and I need to lose that inhibition a bit. I do remember going to a Latvian wedding once, and the whole link dancing in a circle thing. Now the dancing wasn't like a little thing at the end. Dancing happened the whole night, and if you were sitting down, it wasn't long before someone was dragging you up on the dance floor and just joining in. I think there's something beautiful about that, and something pretty cool about that togetherness of community. Of course, European communities, Jamaican communities do this thing really, really well. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I'm talking to as much to myself as I'm talking to you guys today. Well, on to the clip. So we do have Rasputin. This is a live version. Just see how many people are backing these guys. These guys were absolutely massive when they were around. And so we've got the live version of that one, again off Night Flight to Venus from 1978. Off the same album, we then got the iconic classic Rivers of Babylon. This is based on one of the Psalms of the Bible, believe it or not, and this is really the story of the Israelites in exile, which is like the whole lot of them went to another country. And how can we sing when we're in a strange land? So we've got Rivers of Babylon. When you think of Boney M, that's the song you think of. This song went to #1 in many countries. So this is a massive, massive song for Boney M. We then got the standard Sunny, written all the way back a little while before 1976 when this came off the album Take the Heat Off Me. BMI rated Sunny as the number 25 of the top 100 songs of all time. This song has been covered by hundreds and hundreds of artists. It's just an upbeat, positive song, and really thanking that significant person in your life for the influence and the change that you have found in you. So we've got Sunny, of course. Boney M brought their reggae style to that one. And then we've got from the iconic 1981 Christmas album, Mary's Boy Child. Now, this is on many, many Christmas playlists in shopping centres, in houses, all over the place, again, telling the beautiful story of Christmas through Mary's Boy Child. This is a Christmas standard, this one, and this particular version is an iconic Christmas song. So we've got that one as well. That's the official clip on that one. So the links to those. Oh, and by the way, just going back on the dancing thing, I found this really cool clip. I was in a seminar, and they were talking about the concept of not the instigator, but the first follower. So this is an awesome clip of a guy just dancing at a festival. Now, when you look at it, he's dancing not the best, and this just suppose just typifies the story today even more. But eventually one guy joins him, and then another, and eventually a whole crowd joins him. There's something compelling about the freedom and the absolute abandon of this guy, and he creates a dance party very much out of the blue. So who knows what can happen when you dance? It's quite a compelling thing if you can get that real freedom and inhibition in there at the same time. So I chucked that one in there as well because it's a really, really good example of what dancing without inhibition means and what can happen. So the links to those 5 clips are in the description below. I do like to get more than one song in by a particular group because you know what? You can't restrict an artist to one song. I must admit, when I started this series a little while back now, that's what I did, but I've realised that, hey, no, we need to give people a bit more of a go than that. And so there we go. And I've also included my last clip from Big Country, so if you want to recap on that one, feel free. Well, if you've come back for another one, or this is your first time to Life Reflections through Music, you're trying to work out, what this thing is. We don't react, we reflect here. And if you look back at my playlist, which are all just in alphabetical order, so you know I've done A to, E now. This is a few of the artists that I'm just coming back to because I kind of remember them later. But you'll see them in alphabetical order, and if you go to A to D and think, hey, you didn't do this good person, well, ask for it. And I've had a few requests of late, which is really, really great. So that's it for today. Next time, just for something completely different, we're going on to hard rockers, Faith No More. But through one of their songs wasn't so much hard rock, but Faith No More is where we're headed next time. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.